Hey, welcome to another episode of a thing I bought. Here's a thing I bought. It's a Master System converter I put together. Let's take a closer look at it. Check it out. It's pretty cool. All right, so here's the actual thing that I bought, which is the board with the connectors and everything. And it was a nice 20 bucks. It was and part of my motivation was because this is the entirety of my Master System collection right here, which is up to 4 games now from 3. And so I wasn't going to spend upwards of $50 to $100 on either the original converter or the Power Base Mini, as good as those are. I mean, it's just too rich for my blood for what I want to do with it. It's just a lark. But you can see even with the board, you can use it. But I like the idea this was going to be a project. So let's talk about that right now. Right. So I don't think this really has a name per se. When I got it, it was just the naked board, like just the PCB with the connectors soldered on there. So the first thing I did was basically get went to a retro game store and got a copy of Troy Aikman Football, and this is all that's left of it for now, I guess, the board. I guess I don't want to throw it in the garbage, but so the case, I unscrewed it with security bits, strategically cut off the top to line up with the bottom of the connector. Since the Master System cartridge basically sits pretty flush with not a lot of gap. It's a very tight fit. And then the next step, which is a little bit trickier, was getting this pause button installed. And this is a little bit temporary. It looks like, I know it doesn't look necessarily great the way it is right now, because I was thinking of either mounting this switch to the board, which would be fairly easy to do, or alternately getting like a longer cord with the push button on it to extend away from the cartridge to make it maybe a little bit more useful. I haven't quite decided on that, but I mean, for now it works anyway, and I hardly ever really need to use it. Installing it was a little bit tricky. I don't think it shows up on the camera. You can just barely see the resistor in there. There's a spot on the board. Basically, there's spots all over this board. You've probably seen the picture already. So there was a spot for the resistor, 2 spots, and 2 soldering pads for the push button. Very close together, very small work, but it came out all right. I'm very proud that I think I'm going to show it off on the video that push button works. And actually, we probably get to that video right now. Let's do that. All right, beautiful. Fantasy Zone 2, probably the one cartridge in my collection I'm probably most interested to play, really. And let's get playing it, because it's mostly like Defenders, basically. Defender meets Scramble, kind of. The game scrolling plays very much like Defender anyway. Get that money. So it's definitely got that cute 'em up vibe to it. I don't know what it is. Some games do this, I've noticed. I don't know how well it turns up on the camera. There's a certain sort of shimmer. I think it's mostly, maybe it's mostly the TV. It's a little weird. Some NES games do this too, not a lot, but yeah, it's just a weird effect that I think it just has to do with the conversion from analog to digital. I wouldn't say more than that necessarily, but yeah, it's a little weird. It doesn't really distract from the gameplay at all, and it's certainly not the fault of the converter as far as I can tell. So I'm going to get to the shop. That's got to be around here, right? But, well, yeah, I was going to say I was going to cut off short, but obviously, before we get out of this, I want to show off one other thing, which is how well the pause button works, because that's one thing I'm probably most proud of in this project. The case was not too hard to do. Like, it was just a lot of physical work to get that case cut open, sliced at the right spot. But it just screwed in like a regular cartridge. It wasn't that difficult. So that's the warp of the boss. Should I just play till the boss? No, right now, I'm just gonna, before I get this video gets too long for no good reason, I'm just gonna show off the pause button right now. It's a moment too late to die, but there you go, see? All paused. Game is paused, game is unpaused. Paused, unpaused, paused, unpaused. That's cool, I love that, just because I had to put work in to get that thing working. Yeah, thanks for watching, this is cool. I love having this adapter, and I don't have a lot of Master System games, but it's nice to have the option, which I think is the main reason to have it. It's nice to have the option. So yeah, let's inside this and get you home. All right, here we got Alien Syndrome. I wanted to show this off really quick. Now, Alien Syndrome normally does not play nice with the Sega Genesis controller, which I got right here, the retro bit. So right now we have the regular settings. You see it's on NTSC. And let's switch it on. Let's see it come up on the TV. And you'll see what happens when we start the game. As you'll be moving to the left constantly. I'm sort of, oops. So you'll see I'm sort of trying to get it in the camera, but you see I can try and move to the right, nothing happens, up, down. I can move up and down, but I can't move to the right. It makes it impossible to play. It's a pretty well-known issue with a small handful of games, but watch what happens when I do this now. I'm going to turn it off, and I'm going to set the region sweating to NJ, which is NTSC Japan. It's a little tricky to get the settings on this Super Retro Trio because it's all close together. There, I think that should do it. So I'll turn it on. I'll come back on the screen. Sega Mark III, you see that? Isn't that crazy? Sega Mark III. And now, I apologize for the glare from the background, but look at it. I can play it. Up and down, left and right, no problem whatsoever. Yeah, so that's a neat little thing. One of the benefits of these clone consoles, if I was just using my regular Sega Genesis, I wouldn't be able to play this game, which is not actually an awesome game anyway, but I wanted to show this off because it was just a neat discovery I sort of found by reading a forum post by accident. And yeah, so yeah, thanks for this, and we'll get you to the regular scheduled program. Right, so that's the thing I bought, and yeah, I really enjoyed putting this thing together and see how much further I go with it. Yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully you'll catch me next time I buy a thing.